One of the first things that any bar needs is simple syrup. And at my house, I keep 2 different kinds pretty much all the time. Now, I cannot stress this enough, but do not buy simple syrup. It's a waste of money. It only requires 2 ingredients and you can make it in minutes. So your traditional simple syrup is just made with white sugar and water. So it really depends how much you want to make, but say you use 1 cup of water, you'll also use 1 cup of sugar, and that will be your equal parts to make your simple syrup. Next would be what I call the semi-sweet simple syrup. This is what I personally keep in my house, and that's going to be 1.5 parts sugar to 1 part water. And lastly, we have the rich syrup. So that's going to be 2 parts to 1. 2 cups of sugar to 1 cup of water. Now you can probably already guess that with more sugar, it's going to be sweeter. But the other difference and kind of important factor is the refrigerator life. So more sugar usually means it'll last longer in your fridge. I'd recommend starting with the semi-rich and then seeing if that's too sweet for you or if you want it a little bit more sweet. But anyways, let's get into making it. All right, so everything can be done at the stove. All you really need is your sugar, your pot, some water, and something to stir it with, like a little spatula. Now, I'm gonna be making a half recipe of what I normally make. If you're making simple syrups and you don't have any, I'd make double what I'm making right now. I'm gonna start with 1/2 cup of water and then mix that with 3/4 cup of sugar to make that semi-rich simple syrup. Then set your stove to whatever would be somewhat like a medium to slightly medium high setting for your stove. Then you're gonna wanna stir that until all of that sugar is dissolved and the liquid is clear. You pretty much wanna get the water right before it boils, but don't let it boil for too long because that could ruin your simple syrup. And when it's done, you just gotta let it sit to the side and cool off before you put it in whatever container you want. And I said I keep 2 different kinds of simple syrups in my fridge. I've already made the regular simple syrup. The other one I keep is a Demerara syrup. Demerara sugar is like a raw sugar, so it's gonna have that light brown color to it, and it's pretty much unrefined molasses in cane sugar form, crystallized sugar form, something like that. This is what I typically use in any cocktail that has a darker spirit, like say a aged rum or a whiskey. For this one, I always make rich because 1, I want it to last as long as it needs to in my fridge, and 2, I like to use less of that liquid in my drinks that have those types of spirits so that it's not changing the amount too much. It's made the exact same way, but I would just keep an eye on it because of that darker color. It might be a little bit difficult to see when it's fully dissolved. And that is pretty much simple syrup. I hope that was simple enough for you to follow along, and I hope that you follow me on Instagram to see other recipes that I use it in.